Alright guys, my name's Rabea and this is Sound Advice. So I thought I'd talk to you guys a little bit about inspiration, being inspired, how to be inspired, how to get out of a rut and how to just keep things fresh, I guess. It's a difficult thing, in my opinion. I think as creative people, it's really dependent on your mood on the day. You can't expect to just jump into the studio and hash out a song super easy. Obviously some people can, but I think they've learned to channel that over time, and it's one of those things that if you're not in the right headspace, nothing's going to happen, or you can quite easily fall out of the right headspace given certain circumstances. So there's a few things that I like to do, whether I'm working at home in the studio or I'm at band practice or working with the bands and stuff like that kind of keep things fresh. I guess for me, what's really important to be inspired is to make sure I'm varying my music intake or sound intake, as it were. So obviously I'm a fan of things like heavy music and progressive music and bluesy rock and stuff like that. But I also find that although I listen to all that stuff quite a lot, where I really draw the inspiration from is music outside of my general listening palette. And I think that's because it's new to me, it sounds fresh, and it's almost like it sits further forward in the internal realm of my music ideas than stuff I'm more familiar with listening to all the time, if that makes sense. So a great place for me to start would be film score. I find film score is absolutely amazing. It's invaluable for me for inspiration for chord progressions. The reason is films are there to draw emotions out of people, whatever they are, whether it's happiness, sadness, excitement, tension, whatever it might be. And the music plays such a huge part on that. And I'm always listening to it. It almost takes over my sort of focus more so than the film sometimes, because it really does just draw me in. And I find that some of the most emotional parts in films are more so emotional because the music really just hit home at the right moment. It's really cool. And so when I listen to film score, that's the thing I pull out of it most, is that emotive, that provoking emotion kind of thing. So that immediately inspires me to try and do the same thing on the guitar. And I find there are certain chords and certain structures of chords that really help for that. I generally find like a root, fifth, and then your major or minor above. I apologize for not being overly theoretical, but for example, if I play around with these chords, like major and minor variants of them, if I move these around the neck, so there's a really basic example of taking just two different shapes and just trying different combinations of sort of intervallic jumps to come up with what to me sounds cinematic, or it inspires that vibe to me, like there's a picture being drawn, a landscape being drawn. So yeah, in a nutshell, film score really helps me with my inspiration towards chord progressions. Definitely a really good place to start if you're trying to come up with some fresh chord progressions and you haven't tried that. And then just to add on to that, generally classical music, any kind of classical music, generally speaking, I find around the kind of Gustav Holst planets, kind of anything like that, has so much information in it that's useful, whether it be for chord progressions, motifs, just little ideas, just little sparks, and then you just pull them out when you need them. And I think that's another great way of looking at inspiration, because we can pull our hair out trying to be original, and in my opinion, I feel like originality really comes from taking so many different seeds of inspiration from different places and just putting it onto a big pot and making it into your version of that. And I think that's a really cool way of looking at it, because I find that happens with me personally. I'm not standing there saying I'm really original or anything like that, but when I'm writing music, I'm feeling this bit of the song reminds me of this band, or this particular part of this song by this band, or this chord progression in the chorus was really trying to reference my favorite song by this band, or my favorite piece by this artist. And you're just trying to pull in different seeds of inspiration from all over the place. ultimately, I feel like inspiration can either be seen as the secret sauce to help you write and create, or it's the thing that makes you want to do it in the first place. It's the thing that makes you want to just play. You just get up and play, or talk about it, or listen to it. Inspiration doesn't just mean create for me. It means everything to do with the thing that I love. So yeah, hopefully that wasn't too philosophical and had some sort of relevance to this particular video. But anyway, thank you for watching it. My name is Rabea, and this is Sound Advice.